All right, chat. We are taking a first look at Psikyo Shooting Stars Alpha. Uh, okay, ears. This was published by Nis America. It came out today. Um, a bit of backstory on this game. All right, so like I was saying to Charlie on, this is like I've had to do so much research about this game because first of all, it's a collection of shoot 'em ups. 6 shoot 'em ups by Psikyo. The reason I've had to do so much research on this is there is a few versions of this. Um, so these are classic Psikyo shoot 'em up games that came out in the 90s and early 2000s by Psikyo. Psikyo got bought out in the 2000s, and since then they've just been doing like re-releases of their classic games. This, oh, did I say we're playing on the Switch? Also, there's a press copy provided by the publisher. So these games came out individually on the Switch. Most of them. I don't think Strikers 1945 3 came out on the Switch, but most of these you can buy individually on the Switch, and they were ported by Zero Div. So most of they've done the port job to bring them to the Switch. We go over each one individually to see what they've done. The reason this is a bit, I had to do loads of research on this, and the reason is like this release is all over the place. So initially, obviously, these are ports of games that came out into the arcade, and there's been a couple of collections that was on the PS2 Psikyo collections. So then on the Switch, Zero Div ported them individually, and then last year they was released as in physical form, but not in Europe and America, in Japan and Asia. And the way they were released was even more weird. So in Asia, I think it came out as Psikyo Collection 1, 2, and 3. So let's backtrack a little bit. This is called Psikyo Shooting Stars Alpha Collection, and there's a Bravo collection coming out in about a month. So this is a collection of 6 games. The Bravo collection is going to be another collection of 6 games. But when it came out in Asia, when it was called Psikyo Collection, published by somebody else, I'm not sure who published it there, it was still the Zero Div games. It was just put in a collection, a limited edition collection. But it didn't come out on like 2 cartridges, on two versions. It came out in 3 versions. So what they did was they broke down this 12 games onto 3 carts. So you'd have to pay more to get it. And a lot of people were importing that, because if you know anything about the shoot 'em ups fans and the way they collect, they love shoot 'em ups. We love shoot 'em ups. So it was like arm and a leg to import those over. Then afterwards to Japan, from what I understand, Psikyo Library came out, and that came out in kind of like this version where it was Psikyo's Library Volume 1 and 2. So when it came out in Volume 1 and 2, again, it was, rather than splitting it up like they did the Asia version, it was published by somebody else. It came out with 6 versions on each cart, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I'm assuming Nis America published this for the West and for Europe. They're going to do it the same way. Alpha is going to have a certain type of games, or Bravo is going to have a different set of games. From what I've seen looking around, this has got more the strikers games, where the Bravo collection is going to have more like the Gunbird style of games. So best way to describe it, this is like the more serious one, and that's going to be the more cutesome up one. I think cutesome up ain't the right word, because that implies like fantasy zone stuff, but it's not going to be like that. But it's a way more anime, the ones that are the games, the shoot 'em up games that are going to be in the Bravo collection. So yeah, so this comes to the, so you can buy these games individually on the eShop, or you can now buy them in the Alpha, or next month the Bravo collection, which is so you can buy them as collections on the eShop now as well. Also, they're gonna come out to the West and in Europe. They're gonna Nis America is publishing them in their physical form, so they're gonna do limited edition and non-limited edition. So The limited edition is going to come with artwork and like music soundtracks, and the non-limited edition is just the cartridge, just the game. So that's going to be the same with Alpha and Bravo. So NIS has like really cleaned it up, and like one, published it in the West, and two, made it cheaper to get. Right, you can buy all these games individually. I think they're like $8 America, or they're £7 UK. So it does work out a little bit cheaper if you buy the collections. Also, if you buy the physical collections, it works out cheaper as well. The limited editions are going for like they're going for like 40 at the moment in UK, where the standard edition is like 38. So the limited editions, but they sold out everywhere. I know, because even though I got a press copy of this, I was like actually looking at the physical release, because you know, I love shoot 'em ups, and this is just like very collectible, but it's sold out everywhere already. The alpha version is anyway. Also, again, we haven't got into the game here. We got to just discuss the release. When it came out in Asia, the limited edition versions that came out there were a little bit different. They had the music, they had the artwork, but they came in like different boxes. I'm just gonna straight say it, like super like lewd. Like you just gotta go watch a YouTube video of it. That's the best way to describe it. I don't know if it's the Asia version or the Japanese version. It came with like a woman on the box showing her cleavage, and it came with a like a plastic mold of one of the characters from one of the games, like with cleavage out, and there's a plastic it's so weird. You just gotta go, just go Google it. It's like so obviously NIS America hasn't done that. They've done the limited edition, they've done the standard version. You get on the eShop, you get it physical, but theirs comes with the artwork, it comes with the music. I mean, I know some of my weebs in the chat will be like, oh, we like that version, but they cleaned up this version. That's one difference. It's a little bit cheaper as well, because you've tried to get those versions off Asia. It works out arm and a leg. Lastly, what they've changed is those physical versions that came out in Asia, for each collection, the games in the collection would install as a separate icon. So here, where is you would boot up, like say the alpha collection, and all 6 games are in the collection. In the Asia version, it will be like 6 different icons. Now that's preference to whatever you want, but we already know the problem with the Switch already is it hasn't got folders, and everything just gets messy and hard to maintain. So I prefer it this way, where it's you click the icon, and inside the icon each game is there, and then you just pick a game. Once you get into a game, it has all the options. I noticed, because I've been checking it, all the options are separate for each game, and it saves each settings separate for each game as well. Yeah, Zero Dev has Dev, I don't know how to pronounce it. Zero Dev has done most of these, if not all of these ports to the Switch. I think 1 or 2 of these haven't come out individually, so the only way you can get them is in the collection. Even Psikyo has done loads of collection on like PS2 and everything. I think there's 1 or 2 games that has never been in a collection before, so this is the first time you're going to be able to get these, like Strikers 1945 3. It's the first time it's in any collection from what I'm aware of. I'm not I should check what's going to be in the Bravo collection, and probably have to do like individually check where those versions came out and everything as well. Like I said, it's been a bit of a headache, because again, this came out physical, came out digital, different versions came out, and those versions that I'm talking about came out like last year. So yeah, about a year ago even. So people were importing it then. So this is the first time we've got to see this in one bundle, you know, to the West. I'm gonna say kind of shout out to NIS America, because I don't know if like shoot 'em ups, I know for the limited edition stuff and all that, they sell very well, they sell out quick, and everybody likes to buy these as a collectible kind of thing. I don't know if shoot 'em ups really sell like crazy, right, in this day and age. We checked out Jamestown the other day, and we've been doing quite a bit of shoot 'em ups recently, because I knew this was coming out. So you know, the Switch seems like a perfect console for shoot 'em ups. So we're gonna check out each game individually. Also, I should point out, so most of these are like just straight conversions and ports. They added like screen filters and effects. The only one that has been like top down, had a lot of work put in, I think, is Zero Gunner 2. So Zero Div put in so much work into the Zero Gunner 2, and they've changed like minor gameplay things. And like I said, shoot 'em up fans are crazy, right? Crazy good way. I'm a shoot 'em up fan as well. They've had to put a dash or a minus. So this is called Zero Gunner 2 dash or Zero Gunner 2 minus, because it's not like 100% the same version that came out in the arcades, because they've made some minor gameplay adjustments. But from top to bottom, they've like I didn't know if they had access to the original files or anything, but apparently they put a lot of work into this. All right, so let's start with Strikers 1945. Again, if you don't know who Psikyo is, like 90s and 2000s, they were like massive. They haven't released anything new recently, but they were like massive. They just made shoot 'em up games basically. All right, let me adjust the volume. So if you're playing this in handheld, you have an option to like switch like tate mode. They call this tate mode. Like you got the R-type style, right, which is left and right, and you go top to bottom like this. They call that tate mode. So you can, if you're playing handheld, you can switch it to the other way to get like more screen orientation. If I quickly go here and we just check out some of the options, I won't go through this for each one because all the options are the same. Obviously you got controller settings, you got game settings, it kind of looks like almost like dip switch settings in here. The display stuff is the most interesting. Like here's the orientation where you can flip the orientation. They've got like everything comes on by default. So they got scanlines here, and everything comes on default with this type 1 screen filter. You can have wallpaper on or off. I'll show you without type 1 and with type 1. Oh, it also has a manual to show you how to play. It's a shoot 'em up channel. It's like, you know, unless we got some crazy Ikaruga style mechanics here. So I wouldn't describe these as like bullet hell. One of the games in this collection is going to be more bullet hell like, but these ain't really bullet hell. Sorry, just making sure audio is good. So you can with the Strikers games, you get to pick a few ships. Every ship has a different shooting pattern. Get power-ups. You got a bomb that you can use. Classic shoot 'em up fare. I'm playing with Pro Controller right now. Oh, I should have used my bomb right there. So this is filter off. I'll do the next level with filter on. Like I instantly noticed that there was something. I don't like the filter that they've used. It just like super blurs out everything. So if you're going to be playing this at home, the first thing I would do is turn the filter off. I wish there was a option to have scan lines on without the filter on. Let's get to the next level and I'll just go through the filter stuff. What's going on, Cobra? Sorry, chat. I'm gonna answer some of your questions in a minute. Give me a second. All right, so let's look up the filter stuff right here. So see instantly how it blurs out everything. So especially with my retro games, I really love looking at them. Like I like to see all the pixels, right? But the filter option here is just, I'm just gonna say it's just not good. It's just super. It doesn't even smooth out everything. It just looks like straight blurs it. Now the scan lines option, like this is the scan lines option, is pretty good. It's not actually. I'm not saying. I don't know why I'm saying. I don't know why I said it's pretty good. I don't think it's good at all, because the problem with the scan lines option, it's basically scan lines with the blur filter on, with the smoothing on. So what I would have liked to see is just scan lines on its own. So it would have been good if there was a fourth option here. It was like you can have the pixels with scan lines. So how it is now, because of how I just with every single game in this collection, I've just been turning the filter off. Other than Zero Gunner, that's a bit different because that's way more modern, which we'll see later. Um, so wherever I get the chance, I'm just turning the filter off because it just looks better to me, even though it looks a bit more pixelated. Like that's the look that I like. Um, Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on just to show you. So yeah, that's like, I know Zero Dev, like most people have been, because like I said, these games have come out individually and you can buy them for a couple, like £7, £8 individually. Most people said they're pretty good, but like I haven't really seen a lot of talk about those options, about the filter options. Like nobody hasn't really been mentioning them. It's kind of weird to me because instantly I was like, something looks wrong with this. I don't understand. And then I saw the filter option. I was like, oh, it's like way, in my personal preference. Some people might find that absolutely fine. Just like for me, I think it's a tad bit too blurry. So, but with them off, it just looks totally fine. We ain't got any crazy. Wow, playing terribly. Hard to shoot and play, chat. We haven't got any crazy, like, other than you can change the orientation if you're playing like handheld or you're playing on a PC monitor or something that can rotate from tate to horizontal. They haven't done anything weird like, oh, crazy stretch stuff or anything, which is better. I know like it takes up a lot of screen orientation when you've got vertical style shooters, because you don't really get to see the full screen, but it stays true to the original form how these games were released. So yeah, see, even it's just too blurry for me. It just looks off better. I just prefer it like that. Yeah, once again, this is a collection of 6 games. We have a quick look at, we'll do a couple of minutes for each game. So it's like it's a shoot 'em up, right? So most of them, from what I've seen in the alpha collection anyway, there's nothing like crazy happening gameplay wise. Like, because in this collection anyway, they're not really bullet hell. It's just shoot stuff, get high score, which is entertaining to do on its own. A lot of people don't like the cave bullet hell style. Yeah, but I've been waiting for this collection for a while because people knew that it was coming to the West. I'm glad that NIS America picked it up to publish here, because like I said, there was like, even the digital collection, it wasn't until NIS put in the, like, I did a little bit of work, or I got the publishing rights. This was like the only way to get it digitally as well. The only other way was you have to buy each game individually, and like I said, there's like one game at least I know for sure isn't available on the shop. So there is something in this collection that you're like, oh, I'll just buy each game individually. One, it will probably work out more expensive, but also there is, like, in this collection anyway, there's a game, from what I've checked in the European shop anyway, Strikers 1945 3 isn't on the store. So we're checking out Strikers 9. Wow, I think we're checking out Strikers 1945 2. Same kind of, the Strikers games are same kind of principle. A couple of ships, each ship has a different shooting pattern. I will say about Strikers 1945 2, if I stop shooting for, I like the music in this. It's pretty good. I will say that I had to go adjust the shooting and sound effects volume in every single game. They were all over the place. I'm gonna quickly go. Let's pick a different. I should have just went reset game. I'm gonna quickly pick a different ship. All right, that looks kind of dope. Because why aren't you playing Tam Tam? Wait, is it out on consoles yet, or is it just PC? Pro goes, sounds like a superior version compared to the American one. I'm just saying, right? Like that. Chat. I kind of want to show it off. I kind of cringed hard, and I was like, "Whoa, this is actually like it's not just like the artwork that is lewd as hell. They actually got like a mini plastic molded figurine." I was like, "What? This is insane!" Like for the memes, we might check it out later just so I can like dang. I'm just saying, if you're married, there's no way you're ordering that version and your other half is letting you get away with it. It's the first time I've actually seen that. It's just not artwork. It's actually like a molded figurine. And it's soft plastic as well. Because the YouTuber that was doing it went out of his way to say, oh, look, it's jiggly. But these got loads of replay value because obviously 6 ships. Each ship has a different firing pattern. Oh, okay, dead. Early access on Steam today. As soon as it comes to consoles. I'm very good at shoot 'em ups, okay? It's just hard. It's hard. So again, that's my bomb. The bombs on the Strikers games are like ships come and protect you, and they basically eat bullets for you. I know we was playing Jamestown last week, right? That video just went up on YouTube. So this, I would say Jamestown is way more like bullet hell style. I wouldn't normally waste all my bombs, but we're just trying to show as much of each game off as possible. I haven't gone through each one. I'm assuming it's each shoot 'em up probably got about 5 levels, 5 or 6 levels. Because regardless if it's bullet hell, Tate, or side-scrolling mode, it's kind of like what you get with shoot 'em ups, right? There is the conversation to be had. I wonder if this should have came out as just like one big collection. Like I said, you could buy each one of these games for like $7, $8, £7. So there is a version of this that came out on free carts, which is obviously that's breaking down like four games a cart and then selling at full price is a little bit much. So at least the Japanese version and the European and American versions, they've done right by putting them on 2 carts at least. In a perfect world, I would say it would have been even better if it was on like 1 cart, right? But from all the collections we've seen being released for beat 'em ups or retro games, other than like the Sega Genesis collection, which is basically they do the same collection every couple of years. Everything we've seen from like Capcom and Konami and all these other SNK retro collections. Actually, SNK did a retro collection where it was probably more than that. But most of them is like 5, 6, 7 games. In a way, I kind of understand, but it still works out cheaper than if you was to buy each game individually. Sorry, so that was Strikers 1945. This is Strikers 1945 2. Let's check out Strikers 1945 3. I couldn't find this on the store, and then no, this hasn't been in a lot of collections. So I think again, Don't quote me on this, but I think this is like, this is the first time we're seeing this in a collection. Straight away you can see, I don't know. Yeah, so like I was saying, this is Strikers 1945-3. Instantly you can see the big jump up in graphics from the first two games. I think this came out a good few years later. I did this, it was early 2000s or late 90s. Let's just, this one's got, what I remember of this one always is that it's got great music, like really good music. You know how we were saying about Jamestown the other day, where you couldn't hear enough bullet sounds? Like, I like that you can hear bullet sounds in this, but I have to pause it so you can appreciate the music. I like to hear my pion pion, chat. Pion pion. But Strikers 1945-3, great music. I'm gonna, while we're here, I'm gonna turn on the filter just to, let's put it on with scanlines as well, actually. But with scanlines, it definitely looks a bit better, because it just like kind of de-blurs it, but it's got scanlines on that blur filter, so it's not perfect. But one thing I always hate with scanlines is they darken up the image. That's why I don't really, it's not that I'm not a fan of scanlines, is I'm not a fan of the image being darkened. You can mess with it and obviously adjust your brightness on your TV, right? But I like to have that perfect setting for my games, and I don't like to, like, my TVs are calibrated. I don't want to adjust brightness and everything just per game basis. So that's why I never really bother with scanlines. I think the next evolution of scanlines are, if they want to do scanlines, they've got to give us like brightness options in the game, or have an option where it's scanlines and it brightens up the picture. I'm gonna see how it instantly goes darker. It would do, right? Because there's actual scanlines. But even for me, just having it off is just so much better. It's just too blurry. Why hasn't anybody else talked about this? Oh my days. People don't appreciate the pixels anymore. It's kind of weird though. I would think that the shoot 'em up crowd definitely would. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of content creators talk about the filters. In my opinion, turn them off. Or I don't know if Zero Div would go back now to give us a fourth option where it's scanlines with no like smoothing. They're gonna call it like smoothing, but it's blur, chat. Yeah, so the big jump for Strikers 1945-3 was the graphics, I think. Gameplay is still similar. Pate mode, aka vertical. You got a bomb, you got a couple of ships. Oh. Wow. I'm so bad. Okay, hold on. I'm not going for score. I'm just trying to show off as much. I won't spoil it by oh, I said I won't spoil it by literally playing everything, because shoot 'em ups are not long in itself, right? But at least you actually get like 6 games. I said this wasn't a bullet hell. Wow, maybe Strikers 1945-3 is way more close to bullet hell. Maybe I'm just terrible. Oh. Maybe I'm just terrible at shoot 'em ups. just want to quickly go in with a different ship to see what the patterns change like. So this ship seems like it gives us like helpers. I really do like shoot 'em ups that give us like a speed option for your ship. You know it's a plane, right? Ah, okay. The reason I say that... All right, chat, you want to get technical? The reason I say that is most shoot 'em ups from the 90s were always something to do with space and ship, and you're flying a ship or whatever. All right, all right, plane. All right, okay, chat. You got me. Plane. My favorite shmup is like R-Type, and it was a ship in that, right? Spaceship. So, you know, ingrained in my mind. I'm sorry, chat. Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Don't worry, there's a game in this collection where I'm gonna be correct. All right, so there you go. Different plane. Different shooting and pattern. Happy chat. All right, so let's we're finished off with Zero Gunner 2 because it's the biggest jump in like style of play and graphics. Right, let's go Soul Divide. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Soul Divide. Soul Divide is so it's not Tate style, it's a horizontal shooter. I'm gonna be one of the few people who say I prefer horizontal shooters over Tate. I don't know if it's because it just gives you so much more screen real estate. But yeah, this is like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. It's a little bit different because you're not in a ship or a plane, chat. You actually play as a person in this. All right, so we're just gonna go in because I don't know. Okay, there's different characters you can select from. If you have the option, pick the lady, why not? We'll actually watch a bit of the story in this. But yeah, this is going for that you know, that early 90s Mortal Kombat style where it seems like they kind of scan in the characters. We should probably all right, so it seems like I have a life bar. I actually have no idea what's going on here. So there's a level select. Okay, and there's... I think what I'm actually gonna do, because I'm kind of curious. First of all, let's go to the display settings in here. Again, we have... Oh, so, okay, in this game, they give us the wide stretch. Oh, interesting. So yeah, because it's not a Tate, it's rather than give us like a flip screen, they give us a stretch. I won't do that to you, chat. Again, we have the smoothing. I think smoothing with filter looks okay here. But I just want to see them raw pixels. The manual. Change the number of credits. Confirm shoot. Cancel slash. Oh, so we have a slash attack. Auto shoot slash normal shoot. Magic attack. I've got a magic attack. Magic select spellbook cursor left and right. Oh, interesting. Alright, so we got a life gauge, magic gauge, spell book, fighter, boss life gauge. Okay, makes sense. We could do slash in a direction. Magic attacks will become available as you pick up spellbooks from defeated enemies. More powerful spellbooks will cost more MP. Interesting. So we got fire, thunder, free, slow, phoenix, a single spellbook that deals high damage. Spellbook 2, a single spellbook that shoots more powerful. A single spellbook that randomly chooses from 3 possible attacks. Items may appear when defeated an enemy. Power card increases shot level. Recovers a small amount of life. Recovers a large amount of life. Whoa, this is deep for a shoot 'em up. What the hell? Display, change display. Huh, interesting. It moves pretty fast as well. It's not slow. All right, and the triggers like change what spell I want to use. All right, let's try that 3 spell. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. Huh. Oh, we haven't got enough magic. Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on. Huh. I don't think... I'm trying to think if there's ever... If I've ever played like a... shoot 'em up with like... with the magic bar and stuff. I'm trying to think. There was a few Mega Drive shooters where you can change your weapons and all that, but nothing with like you had a MP gauge. That's kind of interesting. Like you would see this more. Like if this was on consoles, I would understand. You can imagine, right? This is something you would see on a console shoot 'em up because they was trying to push the boat way more. Where in arcades they were just like credit munchers, right? The only problem with, like, I'm not saying there's a problem. The only thing with this game, I don't know if the art style is really for me. Show me the power. Show me the power. All right, I'm gonna turn on all the filters just to see what it looks like. Because of this style of graphics, it holds up the least. It holds up the least where compared to... I'm trying to remember the name for this kind of art style. I'm mind blanking on it. Is that not... Oh, hold on. Uh-oh. Maybe I should be using melee. Alright, maybe I shouldn't be using melee. Hold on. Let's use our wind magic. Saved. All right, done. Was that second or third level? I'm not even... Need to see the pixels. Good amount of change of scenery and enemies, though. All right, there you have it, chat. That was, again, we're gonna take a quick look at everything. Soul Divide. That's pretty interesting. One is side scroller, so I prefer side scroller, right? Over Tate. There's a nice change of pace, obviously, from the Strikers 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's go Dragon Blaze now. I really like Dragon Blaze. I think Dragon Blaze, rather than ships, chat, or planes, we got dragons in this, right? I'm just having to go out, chat, because, you know, again, we got like a magic bar at the bottom. It's the same premise of the Strikers games, right? But this feels, out of this collection, this feels the most cave-like. Because everything feels way more like pixel drawn. And this feels a little bit more bullet hell as well. But this might be my favorite game on this collection, because I just like the art style the best on this. Again, this is the first time I played this off stream a little bit while I was doing some research for this game. I didn't get a chance to play this in arcades, and I think this has been on some collection before as well. But yeah, looks wise, this definitely, let's check out the, obviously you got rotate, you got screen filter, and then you got, let's turn on blur. I think blur really hurts this one, because the graphics, the hand drawn things you're shooting, like, you know, with the Strikers games, everything just feels like, oh, it's another ship or plane you're shooting, right, with bullets everywhere. But here it seems like when like way more thought was given to the enemies you're shooting. And like in the Strikers games, it's just the bosses that are very interestingly drawn. Did I blow up? I didn't realize how tough these games were. I swear I wasn't dying this much when I was playing it off. For testing purposes, chat. I swear, it's still kind of a first look, right? I think I'm driving into the bullets right now. Achievement rate. So the shame couldn't stay there forever. I want to try a different dragon. I lost on purpose. Game start level. Does it actually change? Chat. Wow. I'm kind of curious how much easier. Testing purposes, chat. Sonia. Okay, I think we're gonna. I totally didn't realize there was a hot anime chick there. All right, Sonia. Why didn't I pick you first? Like, does it just make does it actually reduce the bullet amount, or does it just less enemies or more health, or? Oh, it seems, I think it slows down the bullets. All right, hog. I like her magic, her bomb. We're just gonna call it bomb. Welcome back, JT. How's the game going? It's going totally fine. I'm like hardly losing at all. I think what? Oh, that's a. Wait, was I paying attention last time, or is that the same boss? Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, this is one game I think I would probably also recommend though. If you have any interest in this, pick up the physical and pick up the limited edition. Because again, it's on Switch. Switch games hold their value, but shoot 'em up fans and the shoot 'em up games, they extra hold their value. And the limited edition is going at the moment in UK online shops anyway, is literally going for the same price as the non-limited, or literally like £2 more. It's probably going to be the same in America as well, which is a bit, I don't know how they're doing it, because on Amazon the limited edition is like 50-60 bucks, but like on Shop 2 and a few other stores I've seen is literally going for 40, and the non-limited edition is like 38. If I was scrupulous, I would say buy it, and it might go up in value. Like, we're not doing that. But yeah, again, even though I got a review copy, I was like, I should probably pick up the physical of this. Like I was saying, the Switch is just great for shmups. I don't know what my magic bar at the bottom does. I should probably like pay attention, right? But oh, and I was totally wow, I feel like I've missed a chunk of this game. You can like get off of your dragon, so the dragon just goes and shoots. It's not exactly like R-type helper style. Actually, I suppose it is kind of like R-type helper style. Does the dragon eat bullets though? Okay, I need to check. Hold on, chat. This game might have just got better. No, it doesn't. It doesn't eat bullets. What happened? I still don't know what the magic does. I'm gonna. Did I miss it? What does the magic gauge do? Huh. Fire, dragon, bomb. It doesn't even tell us in the menu, unless I'm blind. I mean, it is building up. Maybe it's the dragon eating bullets building up? Well, that's something you're gonna have to learn for yourself. That chat, I don't know. We got one more game in the collection. Let's go. So it's a good change, right? So we got the first 3 games were the Strikers games, which are fun in themselves, but like we got a good change of pace here with Soul Divide and Dragon Blaze. But yeah, the last 3 on the collection are each different from the one another, not basically planes shooting. Zero Gunner. All right, so this is the last one we're going to talk about in the collection. Again, I was speaking earlier on. This is the one that Zero Dev did the most work on. You can buy this individually in the store, but they've worked on this from the top down. That's why they call it Zero Gunner 2 Dash or Zero Gunner 2 Minus. because it's got a few gameplay changes from the original. So straight away you will notice this is full widescreen. I don't know if the original had widescreen support, or they've added it into this. This is more of a remake than a port. So gameplay wise, actually let's go into options first. So first of all, display, you got filter on and off. So the filter is just, it's just like full on hardcore scan lines, but I think it is just for reminiscing, because the graphics really have been designed from the ground up from this, right? So like this filter, it's just bad. Gameplay settings, player fire count, optional attack. Kind of curious what we got on this manual. All right, okay. So the way this plays it, like, you would think this is a dual stick shooter, but it's not. So your main shoot button, obviously you shoot, but your ship is on an axis. So you hold down like A to change the direction of which way your ship, your helicopter is facing, for you to change the direction you're shooting in. So in like as a modern day, this would be a twin stick shooter. Obviously they didn't change how the game plays from the ground up to make it a twin stick shooter, right? But yeah, that's gameplay wise, this is how this is different. This is kind of different. It's still a single stick shooter, but I want to, could you compare this to the Desert Strike games from the SNES and Mega Drive era, where you change the way which way your helicopter is facing, also getting destroyed? Jeez. What I want to say, there was another game on PS3 that they ground. I think the original version of this was on the Saturn as well. Is it Zero? No, Under Defeat HD. Again, I used to collect shoot 'em ups like crazy at one point. I think I own a physical copy of that on PS3. They did not this dev. I don't know who did it, but something similar was done to that game, Under Defeat HD, and that played kind of similar to this as well. I'd have to pull out my PS3 copy to see if did they change that and make it twin stick, but I don't think they did that as well. So Zero Gunner 2 and Under Defeat, it was like similar gameplay style. I'm just, it only makes sense to my shoot 'em up fans. They'd be like, "Huh, what are you talking about?" Have I used my bombs yet? So graphically wise, this could be considered modern, right? Again, I don't know if this is my style of shoot 'em up. The reason I like that this is in the collection, it's a nice change from just the vertical side scroller. How you shoot, how you play is different. Oh, okay. Let me use my helper more. So when I'm using my helper is that can I have more than one? Oh, you can. All right, I can shoot. So my big bomb is basically like my helpers in this. This is kind of hard to look at. Oh, is there a lot going on the screen? Yeah, I suppose. It is probably, I don't know if it's because of the stream at lower resolution. Actually, it's not actually that hard on my big screen. It's interesting that chat points that out though. All right, so I want to quickly. Oh, this boss fight. Uh-oh. Dude, I could use those power-ups so badly right about now. Damn it. Well, I wanted to change ships anyway, chat. Yeah, chat. Some are saying they like this style. If you like this style, you should probably check out Under Defeat HD. I don't know if that's on like current gen consoles. I know it was on last gen console. I wonder if it got ported to current gen. I'm just gonna change difficulty because I'm just gonna quickly. All right, what ship did we use? I can't even remember. All right, let's go with Apache. Chat goes, it seems like it's a pretty solid collection all in all. I think so. So Psikyo is one of the big. They were. I'm not gonna say they were. They haven't released anything new in a long time. They were one of the big boy game shoot 'em up devs back in the day, like Cave is now. So you know. Again, most of these you can pick up individually in the eShop, but you do save money if you pick it up with the collection. So the fact that NIS America has bought the collection over, they have changed one thing, right? Like everything's in one icon. If you missed that at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about it. I don't know what other changes they did from the Asian version, but that, in my opinion, that's a good change. So you do save. Wow, I played even worse, chat. So that's a nice change they've done. But if you are interested in all of these, it does work out cheaper getting it in the collection. There's one game that you can't get separately. The Bravo collection comes out. The Bravo collection comes out next month. That's gonna have 6 other games. We'll find that out when we cover it next month. Again, I want to say the Bravo collection. Like if you don't want to buy both, obviously, right? Buying 12 games, buying both of them, it does still cost a bit. So if you're not sure what games you would prefer, the best way I can describe the Bravo collection when it does come out, because I know what games are in there. So you know how we had like Dragon Blaze on this? I would say way more. The games in that collection, from what I know, or 2 of them anyway, are going to be way more whimsical, like Dragon Blaze, rather than you're in a ship, you're in a helicopter. You know, it's way more you're a character flying through a screen. Shoots them up, kind of. So that's going to be interesting to look at next month. But there you have it. I think that's a good look. We went over each game in the Psycho Shooting Stars Alpha collection. I like this. I like shoot 'em ups. I like shoot 'em ups. I like this collection. I've got nothing but good things to say about it. Other than you know, some of those filters I'm not too sure about. And I don't know, maybe if there was like a mega collection where all 12 games came out in one, but you know, that's a conversation for a different day. Games publishers, they have to make money, whatever. It's still better than the Asia version, right? Where there was like a free disc version or a free cart version. Still works out cheaper than if you want to buy each game individually, at least. Yeah, but all in all, I think that's especially if you're a shoot 'em up fan, that's a good package in a collection. Like, remember we was covering a few shoot 'em ups the other day, and I did say, chat, if you're interested, you should probably hold off, because I knew I was covering this a couple of weeks ago. So value for money wise, like, this is way better, right? Um, So yeah, there you have it. That was our first look at Psikyo Shooting Stars Alpha collection. Keep in mind this is a press copy provided by the publisher. This will be going up on YouTube. So if you're watching this over on YouTube, don't forget to hit that follow button. Turn those notifications on. Let me know in chat what you thought of the collection. Don't forget to come check us out over on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the Twitch. All the details will be in the description.